guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. I'm going to do a little backtracking here to a couple of jail phone calls with Sarah Boone and the Third Rail's Peter. Now, these happened in December of 2024, and I will link to his channel because obviously he is the one who obtained the calls. Well, he called her and then he obtained the calls through his requests. And considering that I was in the courtroom for the sentencing, this one sort of, resonates with me, and I have some thoughts on it. Of course, I always love to hear you guys' thoughts. So I'm going to play the call that she was speaking to him before her sentencing about her statement, and then after the sentencing that she's speaking to him. So, yeah. So let's jump right to it.
December 1st, 2024.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
Forgive me, I have to talk fast. If you could talk fast, I get one phone call, okay? Because she's shutting the day room down early, and I didn't get a chance to call you earlier because a fight broke out.
That's quite all right. What's up?
Okay, so did you make it to San Jose?
I did, and neither of them answered their door.
Are you serious?
Yep. No one was there.
That's so strange for a Sunday. You're here for how many days?
I'm here till Tuesday.
Oh, gosh. Well, you're not going to be able to go back out there again between, tomorrow and Tuesday?
Yeah, well, if you want me to.
No.
It's not a big deal.
Both of them. I don't know what's going on with either one of them, and they both mean so very much to me, regardless if I have a statement from them or not.
Well, I have all the things printed out, so I can give them. I'm bringing those tomorrow in case.
Did you get Lana's?
I have Lana's printed off, too.
Okay, so who do you have?
Hang on. Spoke with she's coming. Is coming.
Yep.
And I think that's everybody. There was one more. Oh.
I didn't get a chance to send it to you earlier, but I have 7 letters from people here. I have 4 letters from people on the outside, and then I think I have 4 people showing up for me in person.
All from the inmates.
No, 7 of them are from the inmates. Then I have 4 people from the outside, which is my brother, and there's somebody else. I have 4 people from the outside, and then
that are coming in person. No, letters.
My people that are coming tomorrow are Lana. Lana's supposed. I have a feeling that the Zoom shit's gonna show up very last minute tomorrow. So I told Lana it's not even until 1:30, so chill out. So let's just say Lana's on Zoom. Is coming. Miss is coming, and then Hill is coming. I have 4 people coming to see technically in person.
Yes, and I've talked to all of them and confirmed with them today, and I'm calling them tomorrow morning once I get to the courthouse and figure out what the protocol is.
So I don't know why. I don't know if Peter redacted those names or if that was done by Orange County, because once these folks make their statements, and they were pretty much on the record. But being as how I was in the courtroom for the sentencing, I do remember about 3 or 4 people there. They were sitting behind me, because if you guys remember when I was doing my recap of the sentencing, I said that Sarah looked in my direction, and thank goodness I realized she wasn't looking at me. So she was actually looking at her friends, and at least 1 or 2 of them were apparently had spent time in jail with her. And then she speaks of her brother coming, and that never happened. So I don't know if he wrote a letter, but really, in the end, none of this really mattered for her. I'm not so much slanting them, because honestly, if you want to stand up for someone, you're friends with someone, and you want to, write a letter or speak on their behalf, Godspeed to you. I don't, if that's your friend or someone you care about, go for it. I'm more critical of Sarah, her statement, because she still, to this day, I don't think she gets it. I don't think she understands what she was supposed to do when she made that, that statement to the judge in the court, during her sentencing. I really don't think she understood. And then Lana, just to say, rest in peace to her. She is deceased, obviously, that most of you guys are aware of that. And she later learned that who Sarah truly was, and that's unfortunate that she was such a nice person to her. And yeah.
Jesus. So I know that has the 7 inmate letters that I mailed to James. Okay, good. My thing is, do you know that effing didn't even show up today to, whatever, support me in being there tomorrow and give me any instruction or direction?
I'm sorry, that what?
Did not come to see me to provide me any support or direction or instruction or anything for tomorrow. Nothing.
He didn't come today?
No. And I was like, no fucking way, dude. I kept thinking, I'm like, nah, man, he'll be here at 1 o'clock. Okay, he'll be here at 3. Then my officer says, your attorney has a scheduled visit for 3 o'clock. I was like, oh, great. Okay, the next thing you know, it's I think 6:30 p.m. And then at this point, while I'm on the phone with you now, whatever time it is, he's still not come.
So this is where she is complaining about, her attorney, the guy that volunteered himself, after her plea for legal assistance, James Owens, and I know a lot of folks have mixed feelings on Owens, and I got to speak with him briefly after all this, and he seems like a nice guy, and I think he was truly just trying to help. And again, anyone, in my opinion, this is my opinion alone, who tried to help Sarah and tried to, be there for her, really, she just ended up, taking advantage of them, and I think making their life kind of a living hell,
I was hoping you were gonna see him, so at the least he could give us instructions on like all these people that are showing up to speak on your behalf. Do they have to wait in line? Can they just get right on in? How does that?
I think they just go to the I think they call it the gallery. They have a seat, and when the time comes, they just get up and go sit on the stand and do their business.
So I'm gonna get there in the morning, and I'm gonna make sure everybody is on that list, and if and then get that and figure out how to get all those people in there. I'm kind of winging it, but because I don't have any direction from, but
So, no slight to you, Peter, but you didn't have a lot that you could do. Obviously, he was making friends with Sarah because of this documentary that he wanted to make. That I guess it's just not happening at this point, but. I vaguely remember him in the courtroom, and I'm not just saying that to be, nonchalant, but I wasn't really paying attention to him so much as I was, George's family and what have you. But, it's like he's just an outsider, like I was, and all the others who have been to her trial, who went to her criminal trial, sentencing, and obviously later on to the hearing at the family court hearing with her and her ex Brian. So really, I don't know what Peter thought he could do, but again, I think that he got caught in this hole of that he wanted to do this documentary, and he made friends with her. Now, I will say this. My opinion alone is that he also had an ultimate goal that he wanted to do. He wanted to make this documentary because let's be honest here. He wanted to do this documentary so he could make money. And I'm sure if he's being honest, he's going to say that right out. Yeah, he wanted to get it out there to the masses, and he wanted to make money, and that's all fine and good. But I think that there is as much fakery in some ways that he puts on a facade to her in these calls, in these communications, as much as Sarah has done to everyone, that she has encountered since she killed George in the suitcase.
I'll make
He's
it
a piece of shit, dude. I'm so sorry to say that. Forgive me. I need to send you. I'm going to send this to you on the tablet tonight of all my 7 letters of everybody's name that's supposed to be received and read tomorrow out loud. And then the 4 from the outside, and then my 4 people that are showing up. And I'll give you a description of them. I've only got 20 minutes to send it to you. Because you're going to have to, I guess, try to like corral them at the same area, but you don't know what they look like.
Oh, that will be good. I also texted them and said, I will text you, first thing in the morning, and I'll tell you exactly where to meet me and what I'm wearing.
Okay, that's cool. And you're going to wear purple tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be wearing like a purple. I had like a purple and pink plaid shirt. It's kind of loud and obnoxious, but that's all. And
Okay,
you'll
that's
definitely
fine.
you'll see me.
And then Julian's wearing purple also.
He's like a really really big guy. He's like tall, like super tall. So you'll see me in purple, and you'll see the big good looking guy next to me.
Okay. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to send you this message here really quick of who's doing what and where and like kind of what they look like so you can get them at least together. I mean, I don't know, like, I mean, are you going to just stand up and say, no, Your Honor, here I have this, if something's missing?
Am I gonna what?
Like, if something's missing, like, just say, like, a handful of my letters are missing, just say, Your Honor, here, I have this printed out for Miss Boone to be read in the courtroom. Like,
I have.
Dickhead James doesn't have it, you have it.
I don't know if I can hand stuff, but she knows all those people. She knows like all the people.
Mine is
The pastor.
Chaplain.
Yeah, the chaplain. So
she's reading them?
I'll be in there, but I won't be like in the front where she is. So I'm gonna give them to her, and then she knows everybody at the jail. So she said that she'll be able to get stuff to you no problem.
That's so weird. You're no different than she is.
We still can't figure out what's going on with the mail.
See, Sarah has always thought she's running the show. Okay? She tried to run the show from the moment that the law enforcement, well, let's even be honest, before that, but from the moment she called 911, well, she called her ex Brian first, then she calls 911 after Brian refused to enter the apartment because he's smart, and she calls 911. They tell her to do CPR, and she pretends to do CPR, and it's all an act with her. It's all a full blown BS stuff, and she's not a very good actress, regardless of what she believes. And her thinking that she still had been running the show when it came down to her sentencing, I mean, it's laughable. I mean, as horrible as that is to say, because she was being sentenced in December of 2024 for murdering her boyfriend George. And she never, and even I don't believe to this day, here in January 26th of 2026, she still doesn't believe she did anything wrong. And she still goes by all this crap that she spewed out in court. And it's just, it's so cringe, and if she were to take any responsibility for her actions, I mean, she might actually learn something. I don't think that she's ever going to get to that point. And I think that people have probably tried, not only while they were out here, and while she's been in jail, now to prison. Do I think that the chaplain and other folks have tried to be, influential to Sarah, try to get her on the quote unquote right track? I think that's probably very possible. But we could tell from this call, when she's talking to Peter, and then of course later on in the calls afterwards, okay, you are the one who is the convicted criminal, Sarah, and you're supposed to go out there and say, I'm really, really sorry for what I did. And yeah, she even mentions it in the call, saying, am I supposed to act like I'm so sorry and sad and all that? Yeah. And even some of the worst criminals, the worst murderers out there have done this. That doesn't mean the judge is going to buy it, but they have at least gone up there, faked a tear, whether it's fake the cry, fake an apology. But Sarah can't even fake an apology. She just wants to tell all of us that, oh, it's okay. I know you guys are all, you guys are all wrong, and it's okay. It's just it's so weird to me. It really is.
Mail. I think it just got stuck because of Thanksgiving. But let's not worry about that right now. Let's.
I know. Well, I just want you to know that I haven't had time to even look at it, okay? But I just thought it was fishy that it was just, copy.
Yeah, it sounds like someone at the lawyer's office screwed up. But
it's fine. We're not worrying about it.
Yeah, we'll figure it. But at least you have it and you read it, and then we can kind of get marching on that. But anyway, we got bigger fish to fry right now. We'll keep.
That's fine.
So what
Listen,
else?
are you gonna track James down? Are you gonna track him down tomorrow? I'm gonna be so mad if you don't. Like, you need to step in his freaking tracks.
I'll definitely talk to him. I'm gonna try and figure out what the hell's going on.
I found my notes from when I had talked to him a while ago for that hour, however many weeks ago that was.
Yeah.
And he said that he's hesitant because he does not believe that you are telling the truth about me not owing you all anything, being in debt to you guys or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So he said, I'm going to draft a statement in order for him and Julian both to sign, in order for you all stating that I owe you nothing in whatever legal way that he can possibly do that. So you need to ask him about that, because I think that's what he's holding off on. Or, I don't think he gives a shit about me anymore anyway. But just say, man, if you're going to do that, do it. And plus, he's got all of my case documents with him.
Yeah, I'm happy to sign anything that you want like that.
I know. I told him that. I'm like, just draft it and let's go, man.
In fact, I think that this agreement is pretty clear. We don't owe you anything. You don't owe us anything. We're just doing this as, to make the film.
OMG, okay?
So,
I feel like I want to just vomit all over the place all the time because of how stressed out I am, and then tomorrow I get to be sentenced to life in prison.
Yeah, how you
and remember,
feeling?
I'm going to be completely uprooted to a whole nother max custody dorm.
Do you have any senses how long that's going to take for you to move?
Oh, darling. Well, I'm there at the courthouse. Once they say however many years it is, my shit's being collected and put in wherever they're going to put me.
And then, so you're at the jail for how long until you move?
Oh, to the OC? I don't know. Right now, I found out from an officer the other day that they're backed up by at least 2 months, so I should see the first of the year here.
Okay.
It's a guess, so I don't know for sure.
And how are you feeling about your sentencing speech?
How am I what?
How are you feeling about your sentencing speech?
I want to tell him, you're violating and have been and continue to try to censor me and using my first constitutional right of free speech. And it's my right to speak, and I want to speak, and I want to use my rights like everybody else has. So I don't know what happens, but it's going to be what it's going to be tomorrow, because it's going to be said and done. And yes.
How are you feeling? Are you like nervous, or what's going on in your head?
I'm not really nervous, to be honest with you. I am very confident, especially with the amount of people that I have coming to represent me, either in a letter, an email, or in person. I wanted to talk to you for a moment about my statement and what you sent me information-wise in regards to how the judge could cut me off or interrupt me.
Mm-hmm.
The case relevance to my case. I'm going to talk about forgiveness of George Torres' family, social media, my 3 prior attorneys, both judges, the jury, and myself, the prosecutor and the detectives. So I didn't know if that was too much or whatever, but I read it to Lana, and she was freaking floored and said, don't be afraid of the judge and just keep doing it, because if he does interrupt you, then it's going to be an appellate issue. But I don't want him to stop me in the middle of it, and, I'm on the flow, getting it, and then him say, you can't read that any longer. So I'm starting off with it's forgiveness, okay? It's forgiveness. So I'm forgiving first off George Torres, and I'm forgiving him for beating, spitting, raping, beating, all of that. I'm forgiving him for all of that, okay? But nothing actually came and brought to light in my actual case. So I made a list of some of the things that he had done to me, and I was forgiving him for, okay?
Okay.
My second one is going to be I forgive his family for not intervening, for helping and knowing who he was and what he did, and to throw out there also about Pharrell stabbing the mother of his baby in the side of his head, which talks about the violence in their family. I mean, it's a split-second blip on the radar.
Mm.
And then I was going to forgive social media for their insensitivity and how I am, where I am, and who they have depicted me as, and forgive them for that. And then I was going to forgive the judge for making me pro se, for kicking me when I was down, for, not listening, and basically that's what it is.
So, as easy as it is for Sarah to learn by going on the internet while she was in jail, granted they have limited access, but they do have access, to understand that her statement is supposed to be an allocution, okay? It is supposed to be an opportunity to address the judge directly before sentencing, to express sincere remorse, take full responsibility, and potentially influence a more lenient outcome. She did none of this. And I know you guys all agree with me on that. She's supposed to, again, take responsibility, express genuine remorse, show rehabilitation, explain future plans, be prepared, and it states on multiple websites that you're supposed to avoid rationalizing or minimizing the offense, complaining. Now this right here, she didn't get at all. Complaining about prosecutors, investigators, or the law, or of course George, his family, social media, everybody, making excuses for the behavior, and reiterating information already covered in legal briefs. Okay? And James Owens, her attorney, he did edit her down at some, to some degree, and I remember him speaking to her, and I believe it was shown on the stream a bit beforehand, and he tried to get her to take a lot of this out. But honestly, her entire statement was all, I forgive you, I forgive you. It was supposed to be, please forgive me, I am sorry. But see, Sarah's not sorry because she doesn't see that she did anything wrong. And I don't think she still can see that.
And when you forgive, you heal. And when you heal, you move forward. My goal begins with George Torres, and every time he slapped me, kicked, punched, spit on, raped, stabbed, choked, laughed at, pushed, pulled, dragged, whipped, tripped, stole from, lied, terrorized, threatened, humiliated, forced, degraded, made me cry. Every time he tried to end me, defeat, or destroy. I forgive George for beating me senseless, for trying to sleep because I had to go to work or my son's field trip the next day, for ruining my deceased family's heirlooms, traditions, and keepsakes, my son's furniture, destroying the television we watched together, for wrecking our townhome by breaking windows, punching holes in the walls and doors, ramming his entire body into glass doors, kicking in my front and back door over and over and over, for breaking or removing the locks from all of the doors and sometimes the knobs altogether, so I had nowhere to feel safe, including the sacred space of my son's room where he beat me bloody on his bed. For terrorizing and threatening my blind and deaf dogs by leaving the gate open I built to keep them safe, telling me he hoped I'd find their bloated dead body in the pond or scrape their remains off of the pavement, for kicking them off of the bed and throwing across the room because they were trying to protect me. For threatening to make me unrecognizable to my son by breaking all of the bones in my face, like his brother Moses did to him after he kept seeing all of the bruises from George beating me, like all of the times their father beat their mother. For all of the drunken rages and fist fights with so many neighbors when wandering into their apartments during hunting expeditions after I had escaped. for drowning me in liquor and wine because I didn't want to drink, causing me to urinate on myself, then butting the end of the bottle in my face, giving me 2 black eyes and a bloody nose, for making me experience what it is to be sodomized, threatening to kill my friends and the neighbors when they checked on me to make sure I was alive and in one piece, for threatening to burn down our townhome and set my car on fire because I got a job, for holding me hostage on weekends my son was supposed to come over by keeping my keys around his neck, my phone in his crotch, and a butcher knife stuck in the middle of the table as a warning not to ask anything or try to leave, for stabbing me in the leg and not letting me call 911 for an ambulance or seek help, where I nearly bled to death until I concocted a lie to save him from being arrested, for destroying my phone with a hammer because my son called, for me experiencing ever being arrested and after today, prison, for beating me almost blind, crushing my occipital lobe, for having me experience what it means to see stars like in the cartoons where a character has a tall lump on their head. I had that too, and many times, for dragging me downstairs by my hair in the middle of the night just to sit next to him, for taking my car driving drunk with my debit card to buy more alcohol while I slept, even after I kindly explained the importance of my car to take my son to school foremost, me to work, and he to his batterers intervention classes and probation officer meetings, where I would be forced to sit for hours in the parking lot waiting for him, for causing me so much trauma and pain mentally, physically, emotionally, I had to be hospitalized more than once, for destroying my reputation and integrity, for my M for murderer scarlet letter, not letting me feel safe to live, talk to other people, spend time with my son, have a job, friendships, simply go to the bathroom with the door closed, or go to sleep soundly or comfortably. I forgive George for lying, for him trying in so many ways, so many times, to end me with his terrifying love. I also forgive the Torres family, his mother and father foremost, also his 2 ex-wives and daughters, all for knowing who George was, capable of, and has done in the past, his history of violence and where he learned it, then to keep turning a blind eye when I would ask for help. All of his siblings, including Pharrell Torres, who is now on his way to prison for stabbing the mother of their baby in the side of her head. For everyone who knew what George was doing to me, sometimes how and when, but allowed and enabled. I forgive them for caring too late. I hope they all ask themselves while quiet and comfortable in bed at night the uneasy question, what could I have done to stop this from happening to both of them? And after all the times Sarah tried to, by asking for help from all of us and so many times. Another great contributor of my gold is social media, with its greed, insensitivity, deception, obvious exploitation, and advantageous gain from my criminal case as a whole, and for sentencing me by anticipation as a result of ignorance and hate, conjured and fabricated by the organized crime that is social media, which condemned me in the court of global public opinion since the beginning. My family law case is the new prey waiting to be picked apart and pillaged from me being made infamous by social media in my criminal case. It simply seems I cannot forgive and be forgiven and move forward. Social media has made me a pariah. It has caused great oppression and undeniable disadvantages, especially by broadcasting and manipulating my cases online. In my criminal case, as a result, my opportunities to be given a fair, proper, and uninfluenced, successful conclusion was heavily depleted and poisoned. I forgive them. Also, all of the media tycoons for not having a life of their own, trying so desperately to make themselves seem so right by making me appear so wrong. Forgiveness for prejudgment, ridiculous theatrics, lies, making and taking blood money from my and others' misfortunes, accidents, and catastrophes. It's all over their hands and their keyboards. And even after all that's been said and done, theorized, hypothesized, scrutinized, and blasphemed, in my case, still no one knows me.
The prosecutor, I was forgiving him for his errors during the trial to cause confusion and dysfunction to the jury, which equaled them giving me the sentence that they did. And then the jury I was going to forgive for not understanding and being confused and being hungry and away from their family for 2 weeks, in full capacity. And I feel that it was a rushed decision, and I forgive them for that. And I understand about them being away from their family for 2 weeks and everything else. So And then I was going to forgive myself for not standing up for myself sooner, for not, distancing myself, not fighting for myself, not doing any of that sooner.
Boo-hoo! Boo freaking hoo, Sarah. Okay? And I'm sure the jury would be highly, highly insulted by this. Please, I forgive you because you all did not understand. You're not smart enough because I am Sarah Boone. I am the smartest one in the room. Well, after all these years, Sarah, we have all learned that is not even remotely the case.
So I didn't know if this was too much, if I was going out of my boundaries.
I don't.
Oh, and I don't know if I.
Look, I mean, the judge will do whatever he wants, but as long as it's said in a way that it's not
It's
contemptuous,
smartass and condescending.
maybe what you could do is you could like prioritize it so that the ones that you want to say the most are like in order. So this way, if he does shut you down, then at least you got the ones out that you wanted to say, you know?
Okay, yes, and thank you for your feedback. But my thing is,
Yeah.
First off, it's not what you think it is. It may be after I read it to you. So maybe at 1 o'clock, if you had 15 minutes or maybe
Yeah.
another phone call, I would like to read it to you, okay?
Okay, yeah, that would be great.
But my thing is, though, it's a professional fuck you. Excuse me. It's a professional fuck you.
Yeah.
And I don't want him in the middle of it to say, what does this have relevance to my case? And it is my case. My entire, every detail that I'm giving to you right now, as everyone on the face of the planet knows, this is part of my case. It's not just specific case details. The specific case details are specific case details because of how I got to that point. So there's a lot and everything that is involved in my case, which is what I'm trying to let the judge know. And I'm forgiving everybody. I'm making another copy and I'm mailing it to him, or I was going to hand deliver it to him in the courtroom. I mean, what do you think about that?
That's excellent.
I mean, I was going to have this said one way or another. But I need for you, and I don't want to bother Lana quite yet because it's too early for her.
Yep.
I mean, what? I mean, am I wrong? Tell me, is this supposed to be like, oh God, I'm so sorry that this happened. I love George. Tears, tears, tears. All this. I mean, is that what it's supposed to be, and that's what everybody's expecting me to say?
I just don't know how much of an impact it really has. That's probably what he wants to hear. I personally doubt that it's going to have much of an impact on what his final sentencing is. Not going to happen.
So one of my things, the only part that I'm kind of.
So Peter is correct. Pretty much anything that came out of Sarah's mouth, I don't think Judge Cranick, he wasn't going to take it to change anything of his sentencing. However, I believe, my personal opinion is, and remember, I was sitting there and I was watching Sarah and I was watching the judge, okay, during this entire spiel, this entire spewing of forgiveness to every possible small individual that she thought offended her or did horrible things to her in her little life. And he just looked like he was not even remotely impressed. He could not wait to give her the sentence and just get the hell out of Dodge. And you know what? I don't blame him. And while I would have loved for the judge to say something besides, the sentencing and get up and leave, I think that was a very, very powerful response, because he didn't respond besides say, okay, well, all right, whatever, here's your sentence, and mic drop. That's basically what Judge Cranick did. And he was hoping somehow that this would resonate with Sarah. Maybe once she got back to jail, to the Orange County jail, that she would understand this in the coming days. But as we all know, just nothing gets past Sarah's thick skull. It just doesn't happen. I don't know. I guess there's just no way for Sarah to understand that she has any responsibility or even take it on, because she's still blaming everyone but herself. And again, that does not help her. And she's doing the same crap when it comes to her family court case, which we're still waiting on Judge Jackson's decision. And I feel the most sorry for, besides George's family, which she entirely, ruined their life by killing their loved one, but she is ruining Brian's life because he's having to continue to deal with her because they share a child and they used to be married. But the one I feel for the most is her son, L. Okay? He is the one I feel the most sorry for because all I can hope for is that he can somehow escape her grasp because she's going to be behind bars for the rest of her days. And I hope that when he hits the age where he can make decisions on his own, that he does not get manipulated by his biological mother, really. And I hope that he can find, in future, maybe another parental figure besides his father, and eventually a good wife. Because honestly, he does not need this kind of negativity in his world. And I think Brian has done a great job. Do I think that he's, had a lot of issues? Well, sure, we all do. But Sarah is the only one who has murdered a supposed loved one, and by putting them in a suitcase and letting them suffocate to death and beating the crap out of them while they were inside. And she doesn't give a crap. She really doesn't. And look how she says, am I supposed to go boo-hoo-hoo? Yeah, that's exactly what you were supposed to do, Sarah. Irregardless of whether it did anything for Judge Kranick's decision, you just dug your hole even deeper by going out there and telling everyone, oh, you guys all suck, you guys are awful people, but you know what? That's okay, I forgive you. Well, you know what? I didn't need your forgiveness, and I don't. I don't need it because I'm not the one who zipped my boyfriend in a suitcase and then couldn't take responsibility for my horrible actions and didn't take a plea deal when you were supposedly the smartest person in the room.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
What are you doing driving around?
I'm not. I just stepped outside. Just trying to get some fresh air. How are you doing?
I don't know yet. It's not quite sunk in yet.
Was that life without parole, or what is that? Or is that life with parole at some number of years?
He didn't say, and that's one of the things that a lot of people apparently are asking, where it's like, so what are her options? And everybody's saying, like, he was more interested in just, throwing the book at me and saying, life in prison, and then he, like, closed his book and then got up and left out of the courtroom. Like, he was more interested in just saying that, hey, you got life.
He wasn't considering any letters, anything. Like, he knew.
Nope. I love you for saying that because that's what Lana said and James. And then, like, my other friends, they're like, he had his mind made up before I even walked into the courtroom. So it was just like he was waiting and hurrying up for everybody to hurry up and say what they were going to say, regardless of what it was. Jesus Christ could have come down from the heavens himself, and he still would have found me, life in prison.
Now that is definitely extreme, Sarah, okay? Yeah. I think you didn't get it because you're forgiving everyone, like I said, and you're ranting on and on and on and on and on and not taking any responsibility and being sorry and apologetic. Well, that pretty much screwed the end of the pooch. It screwed the pooch. And do I think that he was pretty much decided when he walked in? Well, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. He was. I mean, you were offered multiple times, at least twice, plea deals where you decided, no, because I'm going to go to trial and I'm going to beat this because I didn't do anything wrong. Well, you zipped your boyfriend in a suitcase, you kicked his ass around, and I believe you used a bat on him, in my opinion, and then you let him die and took videos of him telling him to F himself. So honestly, the smartest thing you could have done was to take a damn plea deal. And they offered you another one right before the trial started. but you're so damn narcissistic and proud of yourself that you couldn't take it. And I have a question for you, Sarah. If anyone listens to this, and they get it to you, do you ever feel like that was really stupid? I gotta know. Do you look back and go, damn, I should have taken the damn plea deal? Do you, Sarah? Because I think you do.
I mean, I knew he was going to sentence you over the plea deal, but I was like, I thought it was going to be like 20. You know, in some ways, the fact that this is such a harsh sentence. I mean,
Yeah,
it
but you
sounds
know what
fucked
I'm
up, but
hoping?
it's like more arrows in the quiver, maybe.
That's what I thought, the same exact thing. I love that you know what a quiver is. Like, that's the $1,000,000 question. People don't, if you were to say, what's a quiver, they would have no idea. It's the little things that I love about you. Like, I
Yeah.
pick up, I'm like, this guy is great. I turned around and then I was like, where is he? Where is he? Oh, that must be him. Oh, and then I turned around and I'm like, that has to be him because I saw your shirt. So thank you for having. And I didn't see Julian.
Oh, he was sitting right next to me. He was kind of blending in. I think he's got a cold, so he was probably his head was turning because his like nose and ears are stuffed up, so he was like turning his head to try and
Oh,
listen better. I don't know.
yeah, I was looking for him, but I totally didn't see him. I had a direct shot at you. You were in complete clear view the entire time.
Yeah,
Did he tell you that I talked to him this morning?
he did. So I sat outside the courthouse and waited for him,
James?
and he came outside. And he was doing all these like news interviews, and I got to talking to someone. As soon as the news interviewed, he tried to like boogie it out of there, and I like took off after him, and I caught up to him, and I jumped in front of him, and I was like, James, and he was like, oh, hey, Pete.
Shut up.
I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I definitely said, hey, can I walk into your car? And we got to talking. He told me he's going to be seeing you tomorrow. I have a visitation with you tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Okay, well, I don't know how that's going to work. Like, how did you schedule it for 9 a.m.?
So I don't know. Should I change it? I mean, I could probably change it for later.
Change it for later because I don't have any idea anything about this dorm or, officers. I know nothing about it. And they just told me I had 1 minute left. Like, there's crazy people in there. I walked in here, Peter, and this one lady, she's like, she's a fucking murderer, Why are you being nice to her? She's a fucking murderer. And like 4 of the officers had to go over there and like detain her and almost spray her and all this other stuff. So that's what I walked into. Like, this is maximum where there's like serious murderers and killers and like the worst of the worst of the worst are in this dorm. This is me telling you this. So, if
Can
you
you?
can't, I don't even know what.
Yeah. Can you get put?
There's killers and the worst of the worst in this dorm. Well, you're one of them, Sarah. You're a killer. You killed George. I mean, that's where you belonged. I mean, once you were convicted and sentenced, where else did you think they were going to stick you? I mean, did you think they were going to put you in some cushy room? A padded room? Although, that could be fitting too.
Like protection, like protective custody.
Oh, well, I'm behind a closed door that nobody can touch me, and because I'm
Okay, good.
a capital felon now, I come out on my own, so there's nobody ever else out here or anywhere in the shower with me, so I love that. But listen, can you please
Yeah,
change your time? Change your time. Please change the time.
I can do it at like yeah. But isn't James seeing you at 12?
No, I think he said he's coming to see me at 2.
So the way our conversation ended, Sarah, is he said, okay, we'll work on getting a new family law attorney for her down in Florida. He's okay with me reaching back out to all the people I reached out to get a good number. He said I'll throw in a little bit of money. I told him that, and I said, and then if we get the right firm, we can also get involved. He said, okay, I'll support that.
Oh my God.
And he said, after I'm done with Sarah, I'll call you. But that's all great, and it was a great conversation. Is he going to do that? I don't
No,
know.
I don't know. Listen, really quick, but listen, please, call me tomorrow or whatever
I will.
visitation you got to do. And if it's not tomorrow, do it the next day, please. Whatever. And you're freaking leaving. That's the other thing. So please, God, whatever you can do in your power, do it tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Tomorrow day, because it gets me out of my cell. Can you please?
Well, you can't do 9 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, I can. I just don't know, like, with what's going on the door, and I have no idea, like, schedules or, how anything works around here yet. That's what I was going to try and do something. I don't even know where the video visitation, the Carol. No idea.
So you need a little bit of wake up time to kind of coordinate.
See where I am. Listen, I had 5 officers take me over here with a corporal. You have no idea, Peter. You have no idea. So, like, there's a lot that I can tell you, but I want to have. Oh my gosh, wait, Peter, you don't even know. Did you hear me say that this is the edited version? Did you hear me in the beginning say that this is the edited version?
Yeah, I did.
Darling, I took out. James begged me to take out the part about Kranick and the part about my prior attorneys. So if you think that kicked ass, if I were to have read the entire speech completely whole, I don't even know what you would.
But it was probably a really smart thing to take those out.
I know.
You really kind of focused on what mattered, which was I
Yes.
didn't get a fair shake. There's a lot of stuff that wasn't. Oh, and by the way, I also wrote tells you are a really good writer.
No, gosh, thank you. Once I'm a very driven person, as are you, and I think that you and I have that. It's a great comparison between the two of us.
Yeah.
So I know you understand it and you appreciate it. So, like, if you tell me to write something, you better believe I'm going to go so hard. Yes, you're not even going to be able to catch me. So I try to do that in everything in my life. So
It was good.
And I figured, Peter, I'm going to redefine success.
Okay, so this sends.
She's going to redefine success while she's in the Ocala prison for the rest of her life. Awesome. I can't wait to see what you do, Sarah. So I'm going to cut it off there. I just wanted to go through this again. I will link to the third rail if you want to hear the rest of the stuff. And also he's got other things up because I'm probably not going to go through too many of them. But the sentencing is definitely some I wanted to go through. I haven't put a request in a while for any more calls because the last time I put requests in last year, I didn't get any. So if you guys would like me to put in another request for calls from prison, I would love to do that. Just let me know. So that is the bit of the calls from Sarah, obviously, to Peter from third rail, from pre-sentencing and post-sentencing, and I don't know. Did I expect more from her after? Not really. Let's be honest. It's Sarah Boone. So, as many times as I've tried to think, well, maybe one day she will finally get it. Yeah, it's not going to happen. And I don't know. I don't think she's ever going to take responsibility for her actions and realize that she effed up and and move forward. So I mean, and that's a sad thing that she's gonna forever live in this fake world that she's created for herself, thinking that she did no wrong and the court system and everyone failed her, yet she's infallible. I mean, really. So all right, guys, that's all I've got for this one. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.